Yeah, absolutely. A bunch of our itineraries, they're really good. They're really good. But yeah, definitely follow up with you. I have a presentation. Oh, didn't see you there. Hello there. Welcome to our presentation here on National Park Series Part 2, specifically on Glacier National Park. Thank you all for joining. Looks like we have a full house today, so that's awesome. Thank you all. Thank you all. Let me take a second to introduce myself. My name is Giovanni. I have been with Amtrak Vacations for a little over 3 years. I work in the product development department, so I actually help in designing a lot of the itineraries you'll see here today. So definitely stay tuned. A lot of great things to touch on, especially with Glacier National Park being one of our top destinations and very popular national park. And at the end, I will announce a lucky winner. So definitely stay tuned, stick through, and enjoy the presentation. If you haven't already, take a second to download your handout. Also, there's a questions box there. So if you do have any questions, feel free to type away, ask away. I'll take a chance at the end, if time permits, to answer your questions. But let's get started. So here you see a nice map of the Amtrak vacation system. So a lot of those destinations you see there are destinations that we operate to, that we offer packages that include them. We've actually added a bunch since then, so we'll definitely see to get this updated as we do have more national parks and newer destinations available. But take a second just to take a look. You can see that a lot of the train routes go to or depart from Chicago, which is the national hub for Amtrak. So a lot of those long distance routes will be originating from Chicago, especially that awesome Empire Builder from Chicago to Seattle or Portland, the California Zephyr from Chicago to the San Francisco area, so on and so forth. Some of the more beautiful scenic routes leaving from Chicago to the west or to the east. And also notice that Amtrak does cross over into Canada, where you can catch Canada's rail system via rail in some of our packages as well. But you see from Seattle to Vancouver, you can do the Cascades, which is a beautiful route through the Cascade Mountains, as well as from New York to Montreal, so on and so forth. So why Amtrak Vacations? What makes Amtrak Vacations different? So first and foremost, a little cliche, but it's definitely a bucket list experience. How many of you can say that you've traveled cross country on the train, or you've seen those sites that you can't see unless you do take that train journey across from point A to point B? I mean, just look at the picture alone. Look at how excited they are to be looking out that window and enjoying that landscape change from destination A to B. Another reason is you have room to roam. So not like on a flight where you're waiting for that seatbelt light to go off so that you can get up and go to the restroom. No, on Amtrak, you actually have that availability and flexibility to get up, roam, go to the observation car, the lounge car, the cafe car, so on and so forth. So it's really nice to have that ability and flexibility. Definitely less hassle. Let somebody else take you to that destination you want to go to, whether it's for a vacation or you're visiting family. Also, like to mention with that less hassle is think about if you have a flight booked, how early you have to be at the airport waiting, going through TSA and the pre-check or anything along those lines. With Amtrak, you can be at the station 45 minutes prior to departure. So definitely a lot less hassle, very easy going. City to city service. So Amtrak, there are over 500 stations in North America. So definitely a lot of options where you can go. There's different key destinations, national parks you might want to visit. Very easy going there. You can put those together and do vacations. So that's a lot of what you're going to see here today. Satisfy your hunger, especially the meals on Amtrak are fantastic, delicious. So it's not like when you hear those jokes about, oh, Airplane food, what about that? No, the food on Amtrak is exquisite. It's very good. And then the flexibility alone. So the trains, those long distance ones, especially, so they depart daily. Um, some of them, at the very least, multiple times a week. And then there are trains that leave multiple times a day. So scheduling that vacation around your tight schedule or work can be very easy, especially since they do offer that flexibility within the schedule in offering many trains and at least daily departures. So all rail vacations can be customized. By that, there's a couple of meanings, and I'll touch on those. Firstly, you could start from your hometown, so or the closest Amtrak station to you. So a lot of our packages you'll see start from Chicago, of course, because that is the home base, the national base for Amtrak. But if you wanted to start from your hometown or the closest station to you, that is totally doable. You just have to let the agent you're working with know, the travel agent, the agent, if you call into Amtrak Vacations at that number at the bottom of your screen, or just let your travel agent know, we can certainly make that happen. Another thing we mean by that is if you see a package and you decide that maybe you want to do a little more time in that destination, that is also something we can do. So if you see a package and there's a couple nights in the Grand Canyon, but maybe you want to do 3 or 4, we can certainly add those nights into your itinerary. Or if you see a package and you wanted to combine it with another one, another thing we're able to do, especially if they line up perfectly. So if you look at these itineraries, Glacier National Park Express goes from Chicago, hop aboard that Empire Builder route to Glacier National Park, continue on to Seattle, and that's where that itinerary would end. Where now we can add that to Seattle, Vancouver, and Victoria, where this particular package starts in Seattle and then continues on. We could put those together. So instead of ending in Seattle on that first one, you can continue on to Vancouver and Victoria. So nice flexibility there. Definitely use your creative genius, put some itineraries together and give us a call because we are able to do that. Our agents would be more than happy to help. See the country from the window of the train. I'm going to let you all in on a little secret here. So if you choose to fly, clouds look the same everywhere. Where if you're taking Amtrak, you're seeing different sites depending on where you are in the country. So going through the mountains on the California Zephyr, through Colorado Rockies, or if you're going through that Empire Builder route on your way to Glacier National Park, you're going through the plains of the Dakotas, or Red Rock Country on the Southwest Chief when you're passing by Sedona and the Grand Canyon. It's just so many different sites to see. It's a great experience in itself. I love this slide just to point out the gentleman on the top right. You can see how mesmerized he is looking out at outside of the train and just experiencing and the astonishing views as he goes by and he's arriving in his destination. It's just spectacular. All aboard. So let's get into the feature destination, Glacier National Park. Very excited to be doing this presentation, especially for Glacier. It is one of our top sellers. It is very highly demanded, extremely popular national park that we offer for numerous reasons. One is definitely the convenience. With Glacier National Park and Amtrak, it just works so well together. Taking Amtrak out to East Glacier, you actually can see Glacier Park Lodge upon arrival. It is so close to the station. A bunch of people have actually counted the steps, and it's always around that 208, 209, 210. For someone taller like myself, maybe a little less, but we don't have to get into that. But if you're actually feeling particularly lazy that day, that's okay. There are shuttles that'll take you right to the lodge, but the station from East Glacier to Glacier Park Lodge, so close, very convenient, and then you could start exploring. So we'll get started with the Glacier National Park getaway round trip from Chicago. So this is among one of the top sellers. You start from Chicago, like I mentioned before. If you wanted to start from your hometown or the nearest station to you, you could certainly do so. Give us a call, 1-800-268-7252, or contact your local travel agent, and they'll be more than happy to assist in getting that together. So this one starts in Chicago. You hop aboard the Empire Builder, again, a very scenic route, among one of the more scenic ones that Amtrak has to offer, going through the Dakotas, the plains of the Dakotas, towards Glacier National Park. Upon arrival, you'll definitely get a chance to see those mountains, the glaciers. But once you arrive there, you'll have 3 nights at Glacier National Park with some sightseeing opportunities. We can get into a little more of the details on those excursions. But on these maps, wanted to point out the red arrows with the number will signify how many overnights on board Amtrak. When you see a number in the darker circle under the destination, that's how many overnights you'll be doing in that destination. So Glacier National Park round trip from Chicago, starting from just $16.19 per person. So these prices are based on double occupancy, so it will be per person, and they are based on coach accommodations on the train. Upgrades are available, of course, if they want to do a sleeper on Amtrak on any overnight portions, or if they want to do a sleeper all in all, totally available. I can go into more detail about those accommodations a little later in the presentation. But with this package, you have 3 nights hotel accommodations at Glacier Park Lodge in Glacier National Park, 2 nights on board Amtrak. The Big Sky Circle tour, which is sort of the premier tour of Glacier, takes you to a lot of those top sites. So they'll have a chance to do some wildlife spotting and goat lick, an optional lunch at the historic Lake McDonald Lodge. You have a chance to go on to Going to the Sun Road, Logan Pass, which is the highest point of that road, so on and so forth. A lot of great things to see, as well as a 2 Medicine Valley boat cruise. So it's a nice cruise on that lake. And a meal will be included as well. So a lot to experience in just this 6-day getaway round trip from Chicago. Glacier National Park Encounter is another sort of getaway option, just $10.59 per person. So I think it actually might be cheaper to stay home. Might as well get out and visit Glacier National Park. But this is a nice package just to sort of show and create those options. It's not just Glacier Park Lodge that we offer. We actually have other accommodations if you have been looking into sort of what you want to do. But this one would include stays at Glacier Park Lodge, as well as Prince of Wales Hotel, which is actually on the Canadian side of the park, which was really nice. So in order to get there, of course, you'd have to do the rental. So we'll include that rental option, as well as the Many Glacier boat cruise, which is a nice little cruise on the lake right behind Many Glacier Hotel. Grand National Parks with Yellowstone, Yosemite, and Glacier National Park. So very, very popular itinerary, and becomes very, very hard to lock in, especially as we get closer to that Glacier Park season. So I haven't mentioned, but I will now mention that Glacier National Park is actually seasonal. So it's only available for 3 months in a year. From mid-June to about mid-September is when we're able to do all the excursions, the sightseeing tours, and everything is when they operate at Glacier National Park. So a lot of these packages will only be available for that time span. And because it is such a small span and it is highly demanded, it becomes very hard to get that space. So if you're interested, definitely give us a call soon, or call your local travel agent and start getting that research started, and we'll be very happy to help you out on that. But for this package, this one as well starts in Chicago, first heading towards the Grand Canyon. So you'll hop aboard the Southwest Chief towards Williams, which is the gateway to the Grand Canyon. You'll have a chance to do that Grand Canyon Railway train up to the South Rim. Upon arrival, you'll have a nice tour. Upon finishing that, you'll continue on to San Francisco on the Southwest Chief and the Coast Starlight. From San Francisco, you'll have a chance to do a day trip to Yosemite National Park, then continuing on to Seattle on the Coast Starlight. From Seattle to Glacier, where you'll do the Big Sky Circle tour, the 2 Medicine Valley boat cruise back on the Empire Builder to Chicago. So like I mentioned, upon arrival in Williams, you'll have round trip service on the Grand Canyon Railway in coach. Upgrades are available on that as well. You can do first class, luxury parlor class, dome class, so on and so forth. Just let us know if you're interested in one of those upgrades and we can certainly make that happen for you. Like I mentioned, upon arrival into the South Rim, there will be a bunch of motor coaches waiting to do a tour for anybody occupying that train, the Grand Canyon Railway train on its way to the South Rim. So you'll have a chance to see some of the more spectacular viewpoints of the Grand Canyon upon arrival. Yosemite National Park, another great inclusion on this one. So when you arrive into San Francisco, you have a chance to see San Francisco as well. The day tour from San Francisco gives you a chance to have a guided tour as well as free time at the park, which is really nice. So you have a chance to sort of explore on your own, but also see those top sites with a guide. Hop on, hop off sightseeing tour of San Francisco will be included for your time in San Francisco. A hop on, hop off tour is one of those trolley or motor coach buses that allows you to hop on and hop off at your leisure. So you can get on at certain stops, get off whenever you want to explore. So you could use it as a mode of transportation as well as a tour, which is really nice. In Seattle, you'll have admission to the Space Needle observation deck, which is right at the center of the screen. You have a chance to get great vistas of Seattle while there, even though it's a short amount of time while you're waiting to catch that train to Glacier National Park. It is a great thing to experience while in Seattle. And then in Glacier National Park, very similar to the getaway, you do the Big Sky Circle tour again, going to Goat Lake, going to the Sun Road, Logan Pass, as well as Wild Goose Island, which is actually pictured here, which is very ironic actually. So right at the center, you see that small little island. Believe it or not, that it's actually one of the more photographed parts of the park. So on the Big Sky Circle tour, you'll have a chance to get that picture that everybody else wants of Wild Goose Island, which is really nice. And then the 2 Medicine Valley boat cruise as well. So this awesome 14-day journey is just $36.99 per person. Just $36.99. Can you believe that? You're gonna see Glacier National Park, the Grand Canyon, Yosemite. Not only that, but you'll have a chance to do the Grand Canyon Railway to the South Rim. You'll see San Francisco, Seattle. You'll get a chance to experience the Southwest Chief from Chicago to Williams in the Grand Canyon, the Coast Starlight from San Francisco up to Seattle, the Empire Builder Amtrak route from Seattle to Glacier and then Glacier to Chicago. It's just so much to experience. It's a remarkable, remarkable journey that you'll just never forget for just $36.99. Another great package that includes Glacier, there's just so many, it was hard to choose in making this presentation, but another great one is Glacier National Park in the Canadian Rockies by rail. So from, this one starts again, Chicago, up aboard the Empire Builder that overnight to Glacier National Park. Here you'll do 2 nights with those same excursions, the Big Sky Circle tour, 2 Medicine Valley boat cruise, continue on to Seattle, then hop aboard the Cascades across the border to Vancouver. Yes, you will need your passport. You'll do a couple overnights there with some sightseeing opportunities. Hop aboard Via Rail's The Canadian train towards Jasper and the Canadian Rockies. So like I mentioned, in Glacier National Park, you'll have that chance to do the 2 Medicine Valley boat cruise, the Big Sky Circle tour, continue on to Vancouver, where you'll do the multi-day hop on, hop off sightseeing tour and admission to the Vancouver Lookout. Then you'll do Via Rail overnight journey to Jasper, where you'll have the Icefields Parkway excursion. This is an awesome tour that'll take you through Jasper National Park, the Athabasca Glaciers, down towards Banff, where it'll actually end. So that is a tour / transfer. That's how you'll get to Banff National Park. When in Banff, you'll have admission to the Glacier Skywalk and Glacier Discovery Center, as well as a nice tour of Banff, mountain lakes and waterfalls tour that actually, as an added bonus, you'll get to see Lake Louise as well, which is really nice on that tour. So Glacier National Park and the Canadian Rockies by rail, just $33.99 per person. Spectacular. I mean, you're seeing Glacier National Park, you're getting on Amtrak, you're doing that beautiful route from Chicago to Glacier, continuing on to Seattle on the Empire Builder, crossing the border on an awesome journey from Seattle to Vancouver on the Cascades. Also getting on Via Rail to the Canadian Rockies, Jasper, Banff. You get to see Lake Louise. It's just, I can't even put words for it. It's a special journey, definitely. And then amongst one of my favorites, Glacier National Park Express just hits all those highlights of that Empire Builder route. So you'll get a chance to do Chicago. Notice this time it's not just starting in Chicago, but it does include a couple nights there with some sightseeing opportunities up aboard the Empire Builder to Glacier National Park. 3 nights there. Again, you probably know what's coming, but you're doing the Big Sky Circle Tour, the 2 Medicine Valley Boat Cruise, amongst one of those more popular things that people want to do at Glacier National Park. Continue on to Seattle, where you'll do a couple overnights with some sightseeing opportunities as well, for just $23.99 per person. Just $23.99. Can you believe that? And then we have Grand National Parks of America. This is a very new itinerary. I mean, 12 national parks on this one. Starts in Denver. You do a couple nights there with the Rocky Mountain National Park day trip. Continue on the California Zephyr to Grand Junction. That stretch on the California Zephyr is arguably the most scenic stretch Amtrak offers through the Colorado Rockies, the Glen Canyon Dam, Glenwood Canyons, alongside the Colorado River. It's just remarkable. From Grand Junction, you'll do a trip to see Arches and Canyonlands on your way to Springdale. Overnight in Springdale, which is a nice little town outside of Zion National Park. You'll see a lot of the same features of Zion National Park at Springdale, which is really nice. Upon waking up, you'll get back on that tour/transfer that'll take you to see Zion, Bryce Canyon, Capitol Reef, and in Grand Junction. The next day, you'll hop back aboard the California Zephyr, continue on to Salt Lake City, do an overnight there, pick up a rental for a chance to see Grand Teton and Yellowstone. So from Salt Lake City, in order to get that combination with this package, you'll be able to do the rental to get you inside of the park at Yellowstone. There are other options. Again, if you have any questions on that, definitely give us a call. But upon returning from visiting those awesome national parks in Grand Teton and Yellowstone, continue on the California Zephyr to San Francisco, do the day trip to Yosemite National Park, down to Los Angeles on the Coast Starlight, hop aboard the Southwest Chief to do that Williams Grand Canyon Railway train up to South Rim, come back, hop back aboard the Southwest Chief up to Chicago, and then continuing on to the Empire Builder to Glacier National Park and Seattle. So, like I mentioned, 12 national parks, so many different Amtrak routes, very scenic routes throughout the country. The California Zephyr from Denver all the way through to San Francisco, the Coast Starlight from San Francisco to Los Angeles, the Southwest Chief from Los Angeles to Williams, then continuing on to Chicago, the Empire Builder through to the Glacier National Park in Seattle. This itinerary just includes so many fantastic things. I'd like to call this the super package. 25 days for just $69.79 per person, and it's just a trip you will never forget. I love to mention that if you have a hotel that best fits your need, or that you like to go to, that you like to frequent, definitely let us know. We have plenty of options and we're happy to try to accommodate you to best fit that need. So definitely let us know. We have many options: 3, 4, 5-star, 4-diamond, 5-diamond. Let us know. We can make that happen for you. Packing for the train. So you're allowed 2 free carry-on bags as well as 2 checked bags. So how good does that sound, especially compared to when you're trying to pack for a flight, right? I mean, you're allowed, what, 1 carry-on, and then you got to pay for a checked bag. Like, no, none of that. So you get 2 free carry-on bags as well as 2 checked bags, which is great. If you want to check the luggage, it can be checked 45 minutes prior to the scheduled train departure, which is good. Very flexible, very lenient. But a lot of room for luggage, as you can see. And then onboard accommodations, like I promised at the beginning. So check out the coach accommodations. Do you see all that leg space? Are you kidding me? All that leg space. Yes, that's real. So even in coach, very comfortable. The seats recline, plenty of leg room. You can check out the overhead space for the luggage. And also another thing I want to point out, no middle seat. So either the window or the aisle, take your pick. No middle seat for anyone, which is really great. And you also get access to the lounge car, the dining car. You're able to bring your own snacks and food, which is good too. So coach accommodations, very comfortable as well. Look at the cushions on the seats, wanted to point that out. Great option there. But if you're looking to do a sleeper, we'll get into that in a second on the details of that. Like I mentioned before, freedom to get out of your seat and move around. So to the observation cars you see on the top right, if you need to grab something from your luggage, no need to wait for the seatbelt sign to come off. You do have that flexibility. So we'll get started with that entry-level accommodation, the roomette. So with the roomette, you have 2 seats facing each other during the day. Those seats fold down into a bed, and then there's a top bunk that can be pulled down. So the roomette accommodation is for 2. Again, there's the top bunk and then the bottom bunk. With the roomettes or any sleeper accommodation, meals will be included, which is nice. And also you'll have outlets for chargers, things like that. And you'll have assistance from a sleeper attendant. So there's an attendant assigned to each sleeper car that'll come around and help passengers on that train. Then we have the bedroom. So as you can see, in the bedroom, definitely more spacious. And what's included in a bedroom that you won't get a room in a roomette is a private bathroom / shower. So with the roomette, it's a shared shower, but you do have access to a shower, which you don't get in coach. Of course, each accommodation will have access to restrooms, but in a bedroom, you have your private shower and private bathroom and a vanity, so on and so forth. And again, meals are included, and you do have assistance from a sleeper car attendant. Dining on the train, breakfast, lunch, dinner, I mean, all exquisite. The breakfast, think of your typical breakfast. They do offer a menu on most of those long distance routes that include a dining car. And I can attest to the quality of the meals. They're really good. I've done dinner. I've had the signature Amtrak steak. It's fantastic. So definitely something to experience in itself. So visiting our website, amtrakvacations.com, the way I find best to sort of search for the packages, since there are so many options, is think about the destination you're looking to go to and search through that. We have a tab on the website for destinations, and you can filter through the trips that way. Just go to the destination and see what packages we have that include that. And if you're having trouble deciding, definitely check out our blogs. Check out what's trending, see what others are doing, what others are talking about. It's a great way to get started with that research. How to book? Give us a call, 1-800-268-7252. Go to our website, definitely take a look at what we have available, or call your local travel agent. Of course, we're happy to help, and I'm sure they are as well. they're looking forward to your call. We do offer everyday discounts as well. So for seniors, 10% off, 10% discount on the rail portion of an Amtrak vacation package. Same thing for active duty military personnel, 10% off the rail portion of the Amtrak vacation package. And children as well receive a 50% discount on the rail portion of the Amtrak vacation package. And special surprise for you all attendees of this presentation will get a $100 upgrade voucher that is valid until February 20th, 2019, and that can be used on any of our Amtrak vacations packages. So definitely take advantage, monitor your inbox, and once you receive that, give us a call your local travel agent and take advantage. Thank you all again for joining. And as I promised, there is a winner. The winner is Lewis Raskin. Lewis, you have won $100 off of any Amtrak vacations package, and that's not just for an upgrade like that previous voucher. This is more sort of like a gift card, so definitely follow up on that as you have won. And again, as I promised, I do have a few minutes to go through some of the questions here, so let me get these up and going and try to get through as many as possible. Can you bring alcoholic beverages onto Amtrak? Great question. So if you have a sleeper accommodation, you're able to bring alcoholic beverages onto the train and into your private room. If you're in coach or business class or anything like that, you're not able to bring them on your own, but they are available at like the cafe cars or the dining cars and things like that. So you still have the option, but if you are in a sleeper accommodation, a private accommodation, you can bring alcoholic beverages. How much is a roomette or a bedroom? Great question as well, and I'm actually mad at myself for not mentioning it. So depending on where you're going, of course, and the time of the year and when you're booking it, so very similar to like airfare and things like that. The closer you get to the departure date and how many seats are filled is how much the price is. So as those seats start to fill or those rooms start to fill, and the closer you get to that departure date, that price will keep jumping to the next price bucket. So the sooner you book, definitely the better. So again, putting that together with like a Glacier, especially with the availability of Glacier National Park, if that's what you're interested in doing or seeing, taking into consideration that the price is going to keep going up with the rail and everything, and just the availability itself, the sooner the better. So give us a call if you think you're ready and you want to move forward with getting this together. Can you accommodate people with special disabilities, example, wheelchair, etc.? So on Amtrak, there are handicap accessible rooms, and then depending on the destination or the package that you're interested in or where you want to go, there are different accommodations at the destination or the hotels that we can certainly look into. But that's something, definitely give us a call. But on Amtrak itself, yes, there is a handicap accessible room. how far out to get the lowest possible price? So the train schedules are usually out, I believe it is 10 to 11 months in advance. So definitely the sooner, the better. Again, it depends on whether or not that's filling and it's jumped up to the next price bucket. But I would always say that today is the lowest price that you're going to see it at. Are you able to accommodate singles? Of course. So the packages and the pricing is based on double occupancy, but that doesn't mean that we're not able to accommodate just one. So if you are looking to travel on your own, give us a call and we can put something together for you. That's not a problem at all. And looks like I have time for one more here. What if you do not want to do the boat cruise? So again, like I mentioned, these are customizable to fit your need. If for whatever reason you're not interested in doing the boat cruise and maybe you wanted to add something else, definitely doable. Again, just mention that to the agent, your travel agent, and we can work something out. That's absolutely doable. Again, that's customizable. A lot of destinations. So if you see a package that you like and you wanted to do more, we have plenty of options and different destinations on tours that aren't quite included in the package, but we can add for you. So a lot of flexibility there and totally customizable to fit your wants and needs. That's it for time. I do apologize if I didn't get to your question, but certainly feel free, again, give us a call if you do have questions. Let your travel agent know, give us a call, and we'll be more than happy to help you out. But again, thank you all so much for joining, and until next time, thanks again.